Hey folks, welcome back to the Jabber Chamber. Dennis Miller here, basking in the glorious wake of modest achievement. Joining us now, we'll talk unemployment figures with Republican Congressman of Michigan, Thaddeus McCotter to the masses, T-Mac to us. T-Mac, what's shaking?
Hey, Dennis, how you doing, baby?
Beautiful, man. And, I hear this figure, God, it's like an adjustment joint. They expanded out, they expanded in. I don't even know how many people out of 100 are unemployed in this country. Can you tell me the actual number?
Well, that's what Duncan Hunter, my colleague, introduced a bill to try to get to, Dennis. You know, without getting into the weeds, you hear much about the official unemployment figures. But to show you how the Washington logic works, according to the official unemployment calculation, if every American lost their job and stopped looking for work, our unemployment rate would be zero.
Right.
So that can't really hold up, and it's certainly not going to get people looking for jobs, the indication of the real economic climate in which they find themselves. So what Duncan wants to do in a very simple one-page bill, H.R. 4128, is use the numbers to show real people that aren't working, even if they become discouraged because the economic climate is so bad. That would mean that we have roughly a 9.6% unemployment rate at this point in time.
Now let me ask you this: when you talk about just for a guy who's intrigued in somebody, I know you can put things in layman's terms if you desire, you brainiac you. But when you say Bill 147, what was the bill number again?
It's 4128.
Is there a 4127 and a 4129? Is like a big checkbook when you go up and say I want to submit something? It's in order.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I only give the number because people do look them up. The thing that I like is when people send me just a bill number and ask me what I think about it, because that means it's the 4,128th bill introduced.
Yeah, that's why when I used to have an HBO show and I would hire writers, I said take everything off it except number them, because I don't want to know about woman, man, black, white, China, I just want funny. So I would say higher 13 and 15. So I had sort of the same thing as you would try. All right, so this is let's say 9.6 human beings out of every 100 actually unemployed, and the discrepancy, as T-Mac said, is in some, is around 1.4%. It looks like who just gave up, and we can't count them as a plus. They have to be counted as a minus. That just makes sense. How many people are underemployed? And once again, we're talking to Thaddeus McCotter, Republican Congressman of Michigan. How many?
Yeah, that's something that we didn't want to go after in this bill, to make it clear, because we're just looking for unemployed. But when you start to talk about the people who have jobs, that they are underemployed, and or you have people that have accepted part-time work, the number goes up. I think it's over double digits at that point. But that's something that Duncan wanted to leave aside because they are employed, they are working. He wanted to take a very simple step that wouldn't cost any money and just recalculate and give a more accurate depiction of what's going on.
All right, so not to muddy the waters too, or have more expenditures. Is everybody who receives unemployment counted in that 82/96?
There's not in the in the 9.6 they would be.
Okay, but in the 8.2 is everybody?
No, because after 4 weeks they stop looking for work for 4 weeks, and that's one of the reasons Duncan introduced it, is to get also an accurate gauge on those who are receiving unemployment insurance.
That is unbelievable. Everything up there is sort of smoke and mirrored. I mean, it's what does it serve our country to not really view it as 9.6 as opposed to 8.2? I guess the president, obviously. I can understand him, but other than that, doesn't it really serve our purposes to have a stranglehold on the figures so we can make decisions?
Well, it affects everybody. Duncan and I have been very clear about that, Dennis. This isn't just heading into a presidential election year to make the president look bad. It's been going on for quite some time. And it's very frustrating to Americans not to understand, not to have Washington understand, that they want real facts and figures in front of them so that they can make their economic decisions. And so that the government can hopefully, fingers crossed, actually start to make proper policy decisions so that Americans can grow our prosperity and put people back to work.
We're talking to Thaddeus McCotter, one of the most agile minds up there on that hill, Republican Congressman of Michigan, and an eclectic mind, too. T-Mac, are you doing TV now? Somebody told me, down in D.C.?
Well, I'm still doing that D.C. View from the Capitol with Ms. Catherine Amenta.
When can we see? When can local residents see that?
It's going to be airing this Friday, 8:15 a.m., News Channel 8. It's the sister station of WJLA.
What's your gambit this week?
We're going to talk about how foreign gifts to the United States become assimilated. into American traditions and icons.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have a guest appearances by Ileana Ross-Lehtinen, chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee, and someone known only as Steve from Ohio, appropriator.
Mm-hmm. So Ilya Kyriarkin, Napoleon Solo's sidekick, is on this week.
I see Foreign Affairs is not on your plate today.
I think Uncle deals with foreign affairs a lot, Congressman.
Did you do a ghost tour of the Capitol? Did I hear? What is that about?
Yeah, we did a ghost tour of the Capitol, and unfortunately, during that segment, Ms. Amenta fired me, I think arbitrarily and shabbily.
Did you come upon any apparitions that night, or?
No. The only apparition, there was a distinct chill when a House member walks over to the Senate, but I don't think that had a supernatural reason.
T-Mac. Now, last time I saw you, T-Mac, we were unfortunately at Andrew's memorial service, and I just wanted to say to you that you're a mensch. I mean, that was well, I'm not even going to say it's a slip. It was what a mensch does, and good for you for coming out for that, man. I miss Andrew. You, huh? Funny?
Yeah, I miss him. I miss the jocularity he brought, and now and again through his own little riffs on the yippie movement, where he could take a serious issue, boil it down, and still leave you with enough that you could look at it and make the problem manageable, because when you bring humor to something, you start to bring it down to size.
Yeah, it's funny to me that a lot of the devotees of Andrew and Chris Hitchens, I was reading Chris Hitchens' memorial guest list, and it was all the people, many of the people on the other side of the issues. And I'm wondering, eventually, way, I'm not trying to be morbid down the road, when the Olbermanns pass, if it's going to be, I don't sense it's going to be as flooded with people they locked antlers with. It just seemed Breitbart had that amazing ability to completely disagree with you, and yet somehow you didn't want to walk away from him, even if he disagreed with you, having him think ill of you because he seemed like such a good guy.
Well, I think that in my own case, when I finally pass on, or one of Ms. Amenta's relatives in South Philly finally catches up with me, I think we're going to have a very big funeral for people making sure that I'm gone.
Yeah. I'm going to be cremated, and with an hour to go in my life. I've stipulated that. Christian's coming in.
Yeah, I'm going to take care.
I would attend that service.
I'll give you a heads up.
For the reasons that people will attend.
Well, we need somebody tall to turn off the smoke detector, so you come in. All right,
throw you
team.
like in a hot tub in Reno. Sprinkle you.
Yeah, I'll go out with Legionnaire's disease. I'll die with a fez and a Chevalier sash across my chest area. Thaddeus McCotter, Republican Congressman of Michigan. We appreciate your time.